Hey adventurers, welcome to the crew. I'm Sea Lord Jenda, and this is my Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. In the last episode, we handled our very last bounties and side quests, and explored Burial Isle and so on, and we are now headed up to whatever's at the top of here, in order to make our way into Breth Iaman, which I'm fairly certain is the conclusion of the game. This is going to be our final party, I just decided. Myself, Ader, Aloth, Palagina, Sagani, and Kana. I was between, well, Raving Mother would have been the alternative. It's between her and Zahwa for 7th, but Zahwa's a White March companion, and I figured he had his time there. But this is the final party. This is how we're equipped, for any of you who really want to know. I'm not going to go over all of it in detail. It's the same as from the inventory management episode if you really want to see. And yeah, that's a hole in the ground, alright.
Another turn, Inquisitor.
Thaos signals some unseen attendant standing beside a large crank. Thaos, you're a bastard, you know that?
I ask again, Iovara Exensios, do you confess to these heresies of which you stand accused?
He waits, but Iovara only stares straight ahead, her face stony, the creak of her restraints the only sound.
Do you confess to apostasy?
I confess to renouncing a mistake.
She opens her mouth to speak, strands of thin spittle spanning from one lip to the other like a spider's threads.
Do you confess to conspiracy against the one true faith?
I confess to opening minds.
Do you confess to false prophecy?
I confess to following a false prophet.
She's such a badass.
Indeed. And where might we find this heretic?
She's gonna point at him.
He wears the robes of a Grand Inquisitor.
You have no followers here, heretic. Your lies hold no sway in the court of the Penitents.
Only my truth, then.
Iovara seems to look directly at you.
Another turn.
Thaos nods to the Inquisitor at the crank.
No! Wait! Wait! I'm ready. I'm ready.
You are ready to give a confession?
I don't think she's ready to give a confession, guys.
I'm ready to hear one from you.
Iovara gasps for breath, gathering up what little strength she has left to speak. Thaos shakes his head and points at the Inquisitor, and the scraping grind of rusted gears echoes in your mind as the apparitions fade away. Damn, I'm loving Iovara. It's a shame we betrayed her of our past life, but...
Let's hope that grim countenance bodes well.
Oh, look, it's a statue of Wodka. Every wrinkle and boil carved into Wodka's statue looks painfully familiar. Oh, speaking of which, can we look at this one yet? Because we couldn't before for some reason. Nope, still can't actually see the oh, there we go. The towering stone creature is cold and slimy with fungal growth. Its horns look sharp enough to saw through lumber, I think is what it said. Yep. Alright, well, quick save. And it's time to jump. A great pit lies in the shadow of the statue of Wodka. No light from the surface reaches the bottom, but even so you catch flickers of a ghostly glow in the depths. A wind from the pit buffets you. It isn't cold, but it raises goose flesh along your arms. The wind carries a whisper, low and sibilant. As you look into the pit, souls gather around you. They encase you in a cloud of essence that swirls around your body while you consider your next move. Well, here goes nothing. Let's hope some of those gods come through. You jump, trusting in the promises of the gods and the power of the souls to bear you safely down. The sudden drop takes your breath away, but the souls catch you, encasing you in a shining, thrumming aura. While they slow your descent, you can still feel that you're falling faster than you should. The essence flowing around you is strong but chaotic. You find yourself drifting toward the wall. Mind the wall, Sea Lord. They'd leave all kinds of marks. Oh. What happens if I reach for a companion? Am I just throwing them in the way? You reach out and feel a hand, strong and sure, wrap around your forearm. It tugs you away from the wall just as you feel your toe graze something. Oh, friendship. You manage to spread your arms and legs into an X, steadying your position and the rate of your descent. You start to feel more comfortable until you notice Sagani is still falling too fast. Sagani plummets, flailing and out of control. You could attempt a rescue, but the ground's approaching fast. It will take a feat of speed and agility to avoid injury. Oh, I'm just going to get injured, but I'm going to dive anyway. Leave no one behind. The ground is rising fast, and you're not quite fast enough. You snatch Sagani out of freefall, but you're unable to regain control over your own momentum in time. You take the brunt of the impact, landing hard against the millennia-old stones of the Court of the Penitents. I'm just going to stick with standard. I didn't change the levels on any of the other stuff anyway. Not interested in the combat suddenly being super difficult.
After what seems like an eternity, your rapid descent comes to an abrupt end. You remain still for a moment while your heart settles and your eyes adjust, breathing in stale, forgotten air. Before you, a narrow and eroded walkway becomes faintly visible in the dim light, cutting a winding path through a cavern so expansive it seems a world unto itself. In the distance, you can make out the cold gleam of living Adra veins that spike and fork in and out of view from the murky depths beneath. Their glow a faint and fleeting guide along the ancient trail. You look above at the opening you jumped through, now barely a speck of light like some distant star alone in the cosmos and forever out of reach. Your only way lies ahead.
Sure does. It's win or die now.
Well, that went better than I expected.
A lot of very dangerous
dislocated
spikes.
That's better.
Everyone all right? No shattered knees? Good. Just me, then.
That was bracing.
Glad everyone has commentary. And we just finished, I think, a bunch of quests, technically. So, well, memories of the ancients. I've done as the Dunham God advised. I've been carried safely into the depths of Breath Eamon with the blessing of the gods, who would have me stop Thaos before he sends the souls of Deerwood's Hollowborn to be consumed by his goddess Wurka. Whether or not that happens, we would seem to have unfinished business, and I need to find him as soon as I can. The whispers in my mind are louder now, and no amount of rest is any relief. By the time I reach him, I may be as lost as Marivold was. A lot of spikes at the bottom of this pit, I must say. I like the cat made it down, too.
Found something.
Fantastic. Oops. Okay, we should probably... Son of a bitch. Probably... Can I just, Formation? Right, what is the form? You know, this is actually correct, but Scotty's not really finding them before we run into them. A millennium's worth of dust fills in the cracks and crevices of this skeletal relief. Hey, Spectre. What are you doing, buddy? Yeah! Bunch of specters.
Stand together. That's it.
Figures the place to be full of ghosts, I suppose. Well, goodbye, ghosts. The pillar tugs at your essence. A pulse from the world itself moves through it. Wait. Is that one of the pillars of eternity? I think it might be. You know? More ghosts. I don't know, trying I'm at. Way to go, Palacino.
Stand together.
Scroll of Confusion, 350 copper. Okay, there's 3 ways out. Left first, because we're standing by it now. And ghosts. A lot of ghosts. A whole bunch of ghosts. Oops, we can't. Palutina's not even in the room. You know what, it's fine, we don't really need her. 1,200 copper. Okay, another pillar. I feel like these are the pillars of eternity, probably. Can't really see what else they would be. Soul Adra Prison. Oh, how fun. I wonder if these are what all the Adra stones above ground lead to. This is where the souls are stored while they're being reincarnated or something. Or where they flow through. And these are tough enough to maybe waste an actual spell on them.
That's not very helpful.
Okay, well that was unhelpful. Sure fired at the one that's already dead on the ground. But, kind of.
That one hit true. That's not good. Stand together. I'm here.
Pretty sure Idamot just soloed that one, so well done. We've dealt with plenty of Adra animats in the past, let's put it that way.
I've got this.
Nice, kind of
It's
can even
done.
pick the lock, well done. Just some exceptional armor. Okay, so this is where the north passage leads to. Another pillar. Oh. Cutscene. Of sorts. Column of Adra rises above you, stoic and silent. Its ridged layers, a measuring stick for the passing of ages. It feels to you as a thick block of ice, and you perceive buried deep in its core a dim, flickering flame, all but extinguished yet preserved against the ravages of the elements. At your approach, the flame seems to steady and draw strength, and the layers separating it from you melt away, and you're bathed in its glow, a bright beacon in the gloom. So let me comprehend that a little better. Column of Adra. Layers. Block of ice. Flame deep in its core. Growing stronger as I approach. The glow seems to fade as though you'd adjusted to its intensity, and where it was, Iovara seeps into existence, an Edodic shade hovering above the moist prison floor. Though ageless, she appears somehow different to you now. A slight stoop to her carriage, perhaps, or a trace of sunkenness in her eyes. There is a broad scar across her face, fibrous and wormy where flames once lapped, unhealed even in death.
My old pupil. You are a welcome sight, but a worrying one as well. Do you still wander lost in the darkness after all these many years? You are so different now from who you were then, yet much remains the same. Old troubles with a new face. What is it that has brought you here?
Seem I have unfinished business here, I'm afraid.
I'd hoped after our last discussion you would find what you sought. Has it eluded you all this time?
I think it might have.
I can only guess your presence here has something to do with Thaos. The energy of this place changes when he is near. I don't know what he has done, but I do know of the souls that pass through here now. They do not come by choice.
Thaos diverted them from the cycle. He seeks to empower Wodoka and blame Animancy for the damage he's caused.
After all this time, he would still stand against the tide.
You knew me when Thaos did. There's something I need to know about that time.
I will tell you what I remember.
There's something about that lifetime my soul can't let go of. I need to know what it is, and I'm running out of time. I see moments from that life, of you, of the Inquisition, of Thaos.
I can see his influence, still hanging like a weight about your neck. So it always was. He had inspired something in you. We spoke of him the last time you were here also. It was just after the trial. You were agitated. I think because you started to consider that what I was teaching may have been true.
And what was that? Well, it's clear she was teaching that the gods were fake. Or possibly just that they weren't actually gods, which is the truth. Yvara's mouth tightens and her brow furrows, a look of pity. Her eyes shift back and forth between each of yours, as if looking for something that would help her decide whether to speak.
That the gods aren't real.
To be fair, they're real, but I don't think they're gods. Like, we have evidence that they're real, but not that they're, like... Probably not even omniscient, but certainly not perfect. They fight wars against each other and stuff. Very Greek of them. Pelagina throws her head back and laughs gleefully. Of course not. It all makes sense now.
Huh. I'd dreaded the idea from the moment the Delimgon suggested it. And yet, it almost feels like a relief. She's not serious.
Well, I think she's serious, Ader.
There's a theory puts my boldest to shame. But we ourselves have seen the god's influence.
We have, yes.
That doesn't seem possible.
What I taught was that the gods whose faith we had been spreading were not gods at all, but something else entirely. Something created by people.
Yes, that rings true. I mean, they have, like, god-like or god-tier abilities. They throw moons out of the sky and such, but that they created this place? Maybe not, even. And they're just beings on a whole other level, of which arguably makes them gods, but, you know, whether they deserve worship, I guess, is the real question. And also, did the Engwithans perhaps create them? I think maybe yes. Who created these gods and for what?
They were conceived by Engwith, a society of high minds and broad concerns. Thaos' people.
He's an
In their
Engwithan, huh?
time, every people worshipped its own gods. Sometimes they warred over it. After a few wars of their own, the Engwithans sought an end to it. They devoted all their energy to finding the true creators. Generation after generation, they prodded and worked the stitching of the world and unlocked its secrets. One day, they found an answer. Except the answer was no answer at all. There were no gods to be found. Or if there ever were, they were gone.
So they made some. Damn.
It shook them, this finding. If they could discover this on their own, how long until others would? How long before war and chaos reigned over a world without consequence? But they had mastered many things in their pursuit of these answers. And with their mastery, they crafted their own gods to fill the void, and sent missionaries to the corners of the world to spread their faith.
And you know what? Then, as we learned partially in White March, those gods ended up destroying their civilization because they were the only ones that could undo the gods. That's hilarious, and probably an obvious consequence of intentionally creating godlike beings just to have purpose or something. How'd you discover this?
The Engwithan missionaries all knew it, but they never told the rest of us. They meant it to be a secret that died with them, and in the end, they allowed their bloodlines to fade from memory. I had been assigned to join a few of them at a temple. I found the door to their chambers closed, but the room was stone and the door thin. Their voices carried. I heard enough. I investigated the things they spoke of, and everything was there, just as they said it'd be.
Later on, after I left the Order, a Few Engwithans found my words persuasive and joined my cause. They revealed what I did not already know. So this is why you started your faith?
I never thought of it as faith, but I think you are right to call it that. Let the world see. Let them decide what to do. That was my faith. I became a missionary because the gods brought me hope that I wanted to bring to others. For a time, the truth sent me to a dark place. Then the day came when I realized nothing had changed, that I still had a purpose, and the purpose was the same and it was worth living for. I began questioning the other missionaries in public, exposing their parlor tricks. In time, their following became mine.
Is it true what you taught?
You asked me this once before. Nothing I can say would be any proof, and it may be certainty your soul craves. Resolution. But if you are bound for the same place Thaos directs these souls, you will see for yourself, as you once did. Everyone faces this truth at one time or another. Few confront it. Few have the stomach to ask what if. And in avoiding the question, they deny themselves an identity of their own.
Iovara scans her audience in silence, her eyes thoughtful, lingering on each member of your company in turn, finding interest in things unseen.
What if all the tragedy, all the persecution, came in defense of an imposter?
That's not... That can't be right. Aethys, he's done miracles for people.
Well, the interesting thing is that's true. It's simultaneously possible that Aethys has done miracles for people and is maybe even good-hearted, although it kind of seems like he tried to conquer the world also recently, but we're not sure of the exact truth of that exactly yet. Yeah, it does seem like it, though. We know a lot of it. But anyway, that could be true, and it could be true that he was a creation of the Engwithans, who's just sort of a godlike being.
The power of the gods is undeniable. The truth of the story they weave is not.
Yes, exactly. That.
What if you had always been alone, without guidance?
Well, as poorly as I've chosen my guides, I suppose it would be a comfort to know that I'm free of them.
The freedom has always been. It was the guidance that was the illusion. If all our common threads are spun from a lie, what's left to bind us together?
All of us across Eora are trying to survive, to make sense of the world. What could better bind us together than that struggle?
I like that answer.
We'll find our own truths. Make them if we must. We don't need an ancient lie to bolster us. United, the Engwithans created gods. Mortal men and women coming together to do the impossible. Let us surpass them.
I guess we know which side Kana's on.
What if our burdens come to us not because they are meant to be, but because they happen to be?
Yeah.
We fulfill them anyway, because they still matter to the people around us, even if we know better.
Fair enough.
What if even mastery over all things cannot answer the most basic of questions?
I stopped asking those questions long ago. It is enough to care for those we love with the time we have in this life.
Very good. You feel the weight of Iovara's translucent eyes upon your soul. What if we can be assured of nothing? Then the old... Okay, I don't like option 6. I really don't like option 5. I don't like 3. It's just outright suicidal. I don't like... 2 is not too bad. For me, I think it's between 1... 7 is just cop-out. It's between 1 and 4. Then the only value is in the things we create ourselves.
Verus. We find purpose in ourselves and in the people in our lives.
There is bliss to be found in the things we create, but sorrow as well. Every creation bears the imperfections of its creator, and its creator's creator. Art and song are creations, but so are weapons and lies. We must be careful that our creations do not consume us.
Fair. That also makes sense as an answer for an artist, which we are.
I ask these things not to trouble you, but to show why they must be confronted. No answer is simple, but somewhere between them all lies a truth so beautiful, not even a god could conceive it. Do we not owe ourselves a chance to find our part in it?
We do. Even without assurances, there is truth.
If that is truly what you believe, then you are a far different person than the one I knew. I've been alone here with my thoughts for so long now. I've found peace with my failures, and with my punishment. I no longer curse fate for what might have been. But there is one thing that has clawed and scraped at my mind all these years. One thing that will not be put to rest until I know. Until I understand.
For the first time, hints of doubt trace her serene visage.
I need to know why you chose to remain with the Inquisition, even after you'd learned the truth. Do you remember?
As she asks, the memory springs to your mind immediately, as though it had just happened. I don't know, I guess I get to pick. We got pride, we got cowardice, we got avarice, we got, probably some other sins in there, you know. What do we think about us in the past life? I mean, the cop-out, the easy way out is to say, I was afraid of what Thaos might do to me. But I'm going to say, at the time, your teachings threatened what I believed in. I think. Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
I never wanted that. I had hoped that what I taught would replace your beliefs with something that made you stronger. For many it did. But not all, it seems.
She shakes her head slowly, absently, in search of an answer that never comes. If that is the conclusion that my people reach once they know everything, then my purpose has been a mistake. Wow, I didn't mean to cause that kind of spiral. Did my opinion matter so much to you?
You were a blank slate to me once. A blank slate that I had taught the wrong things. I'd given you a false faith. I had to know I could undo what I had done. Redirect you to embrace the truth. You had heard both sides, seen everything. If not you, then who?
There will always be dissent, Iovara. Always, always. Humans aren't really made to be a monoculture.
I expected dissent, but I needed to know that true faith would prevail. Perhaps I've been wrong to place so much importance on one person's actions. It was all I could do to feel like there was an answer. Even knowing what you've told me, some part of me knows it doesn't truly answer what I wished to know. Nor will an eternity of silent contemplation. I will have only my guesses and suspicions, and that will have to do. And what of your understanding of our past? Are you at ease with the choice you made?
I see the world very differently now than I once did. I regret what I did to you, and I wish your forgiveness.
There is nothing to forgive. The fault was always mine. I led you down the path that led to Thaos. When I tried to steer you back, it was too late. To have taught someone wrong is far worse than to have done wrong yourself. Long have I wished to make amends for this, but the time has long since passed. At first I thought this might be the source of your soul's anguish, but now I see I was mistaken. You are not divided on this matter. You have put it behind you. It is with Thaos that your agony lies, in sun and shadow. Your questions are not for me, but for him. And it may be that only an answer from the mouth of Thaos himself will satisfy your needs.
Fair enough.
Yet if there is anything I can tell you that would be of use, ask and you shall know.
So, first of all, do you know what it is I need from Thaos?
I could not say for sure. But you have been to Sun and Shadow before, and it came at a crossroads in your life, when much of what you knew had been upended. I have to believe it will come to you there. Your concerns then were of loyalty and trust and the gods. Everything I told you seemed to send you further into doubt. His words mattered to you when you knew him then. After you and I spoke, you went immediately to seek him out. Perhaps you simply sought confirmation from the man you trusted. If something from that time still troubles you, it may be something he told you then, or refused to tell you. He keeps secrets better than any in this world.
How do I get him to tell me what I need to know?
You will not find a more resolute being on all of Eora. There is no offer you could make, nor spell you could cast, nor pain you could inflict that would make him reveal what he hides. But I see you have become a watcher in this life. Perhaps in defeat, when he can no longer defend himself, you might learn something from him.
Why has Thaos done all this?
He cares only for the secret he keeps locked away. He destroys anyone who might discover it, no matter their chances. That's why he's always favored Woodica. It isn't in her love of promises or justice. It's her disregard for the rules. Her willingness to do what is necessary. To Thaos, she's not a deity, but an ally with which to conspire. When her power waxes, she does as she pleases with this realm, as well as hers. And she wants that secret guarded as much as he. If Thaos succeeds, there will be a shift in the balance of power among the gods. Woodica was vanquished once, when the other gods decided she had gone too far, and her power diminished. With this infusion, there is no telling what she will do. The only certainty is that there will be chaos in their realm, as well as ours.
What is this sun in shadow? I could tell you what I believe, but again, it would be no proof. I have only what I have seen and what others have told me about it. There is only one man who can tell you now, who knows it to a certainty, and you shall face him soon enough. I will leave you to see it for yourself, make your own judgments. Better for your soul that way, I think. So, are you stuck here till the end of time, or?
In a matter of speaking. This is Breath Yamen, the court of the Penitents. Souls are confined here until they repent. They must beg the forgiveness of a god, pledge their soul to them, and they will be lifted from this place to the world above. In truth, they receive leniency, but not true mercy. The spite of Woodica is eternal. They linger above, at the side of the old court, and are not permitted to leave the island, forever severed from the cycle.
That's pretty damn spiteful, Woodica.
This prison was full once in the days of the Inquisition. But time weathers all things, even will. I'm the only tenant who remains. Yet, I feel their presence strongly now, as it was in the beginning. You have brought many of them here. They cry out for the judgment of Thaos. You have struck some bargain with the gods, then.
And the other gods want Thaos destroyed. I owe them no debt.
They aid you because they would bend you to their own purposes.
Well, that's true.
Engwithan built gods from ideals, and an ideal on its own is a grotesque and vicious thing.
That does pretty much seem to be the case,
But
yeah.
these souls, these forgiven the gods have bequeathed you like chattel. They were loyal followers in life. They will be with you to the very end.
I'm not gonna ask her why she doesn't repent. Good God, she never repented in life, did she? How is it you speak Adiran? I speak no language now, but the wordless expressions of the spirit. It's through my connection to you that I'm able to draw upon your words and form them as my own. Yeah, that makes sense.
Thaos will not wait for you. If you do not catch up to him now, you may never find him again.
Well, if you repented, you could join and help me strike the final blow against Thaos. Although... well... I mean, maybe.
If I repent, all I have done has meant nothing.
Yeah, fair enough. But I will waste no more time.
For my
Farewell,
part in
Iovara.
leading you to Thaos in the very beginning, I hope you can forgive me. I hope whatever final guidance I've given you here proves more useful. If ever we should meet again, in this life or any other, I hope to find you at peace.
Aside from being a badass, she's got to be literally, like, the most stubborn soul in all of existence. All the torture, literally thousands of years of isolation. Nah. She's not gonna bend a bloody inch. Three. Oops. Killed the wolf. The fox. They'll be fine. They'll get up. Don't worry about it.
I'm
Come along,
here.
Itamak. I'm pretty sure this is not the way out, which is why I wanted to go down here first. Oh, look, more enemies.
I'm here. Lava will be up.
I was about to ask if they were resistant to fire, but apparently not that much.
Certainly.
Anything else in here? Chest. Oops.
Taking all she can!
That hurt. So what's in the chest? Necklace of fireballs and daybreak. Exceptional. +1 enemies engaged. 25% chance to cast destroy spirits. I do like those. But I don't have anywhere to really wield it. Daybreak was the product of the careful engineering of an animancer from Solus Vale. Hoping to create a defense against the blights and phantoms that often plagued neighboring villages, he developed a morning star that was especially effective against such nightmarish beings. Unfortunately, he died before he could make more. Even though he'd had no involvement in the early experiments with Hollowborn, he was murdered by one of the many lynch mobs that formed after the appearance of the first Wicts. But how the hell did that end up? I guess the Thaos' cult must have put it down here. The ancient address still bears the impression of the 1,000 souls broken upon it. Your soul burns with remembered suffering. This is not a good place. Let's pick up Itumak, and then let's head downstairs. Down that way.
I'm here.
Alright, we don't really need it, but let's camp.
Do you think a single man might change the course of destiny?
Yeah, I don't really believe in destiny. Fate is what you make of it. There are people, yourself included, who seem to change the world around them just by passing through it. And then there are those who maneuver and scheme, pulling strings from the shadows, and by that method, topple dukes. Now, causing chaos is one thing, lasting change is another. I suspect you're right. In this case, time will tell. We'll have to see what lessons Defiance Bay draws from its ordeal. Grab our camping supplies.
It's true. The gods are a sham that people have followed for thousands of years.
Seems like it. What the hell, Sky? Get over here. Seems like it, Aloth. To be fair, they're still extraordinarily powerful beings, and they do seem to embody the ideals that they espouse, mostly. They just, also are artificial creations of the Engwithans. That's not remotely mutually exclusive, it's just not very, You expect the gods to be the creators, not the created. Let's put it that way.
Thanks for watching, adventurers. New parts will be up every other day, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy the video, consider leaving a like or subscribing. Have a nice day, adventurers. This is Sea Lord Janda, signing off.